Hello, and welcome to another episode of Broadcast Gaming Talk. Before I begin, I'd like to know that any of the gameplay footage that I use in this video is not my own, just taken from YouTube. So, just letting you know now that it's not my own because I don't have a way of recording footage of games on my phone. So I've talked about mobile games on here before, and I don't like to do it a lot because I'm not much a fan of mobile games, because I'd rather play games on my Nintendo Switch or 3DS rather than on my phone. But I'm going to be talking about two rather new mobile games. If there are two things that I love, it's Mobile Suit Gundam and Pokemon. While I've played my share of the core Pokemon games, I've never really played any Gundam games, though I've had New Gundam Breaker on my Steam wishlist for a good while, but it rarely drops below $50, so I've not bought it yet. So this episode I'm going to be talking about two mobile games that fit those, which are Gundam Battle Gunpla Warfare and Pokemon Masters. And so I think I will start with Gundam Battle Gunpla Warfare, which I'm just going to call it GBGW for the time being. In the beginning, I actually enjoyed playing GBGW, as it is the first Gundam video game I've played. Now trust me when I say, not all of this is going to be negative things that I have to say about GBGW. The obvious thing that we have to talk about is the customization aspect, and I find that it's pretty good, but it could be better. The one thing I don't like is that it does like both arms and both legs as one thing. And what I mean is that both arms have to be the same and both legs have to be the same. So you can't have like one arm from the RX-78-2 and the other arm be from the Mark II. It has to be, both of the arms have to be from the RX-78-2 or the Mark II. It's probably not a necessary thing, but it sure would make the customization even better. The other thing that would make the customization better is better in just more color options. Like, the only color options it gives you are based on the completed Gundams that you have. So like, if you have all the parts of the Mark II or the Gym, then you can use those color patterns. But otherwise, you can't. You know, I would have just liked a color wheel. Just put a color wheel in the game. That's all you gotta do. It is nice that you can choose to put one color pattern on like one arm and another color pattern on another arm. Or you can have the whole Gundam be one color, the whole color pattern. And they even go as far as to let you change the color of things, like the beams of the weapons, so that's kind of nice too. See, not all bad things. Now when it comes to the actual gameplay, it's very simple. So simple that if you wanted, you could have the gameplay itself, though I tried that and I find that the AI makes really poor decisions, so it's better that you do the battling yourself. Your Gunpla will default to melee attacks unless you press the rifle button to do long range attacks, but make sure you watch your your ammo count, as you will run out. Your Gunpla also has a special attack that is different depending on which you have selected. Now, one thing I find is that the difficulty kind of jumps up at a point in the story. I got to a point where all of my Gunpla were too weak to take on the boss level, and it would take a good long while for me to get my Gunpla to the level of being able to beat it without, of course, paying into the game with real money. Obviously, since it's a mobile game, it has all the typical monetization crap that you expect, and also has a gacha system where you get a random draw of random parts for your various Gunpla. And they have one for Gundam pilots as well, because obviously you have to have pilots in your Gunpla that are a Haro. So really, GBGW isn't a bad game, but it's not a great game. It's kind of just an alright game. If you ask me, there's lots that could be improved upon to make the game better, which obviously starts with relying less upon people paying into the game. I honestly stopped playing after I tried to get unstuck in the story, but I'm never going to pay money into a mobile game. If you want to play the game, then give it a go, but I don't plan on reinstalling it anytime soon, because I'd rather just get New Gundam Breaker on Steam, but it needs to drop in price more often. Now let's talk about the other mobile game I've lost interest in, which is Pokemon Masters. I'm going to try to do a lot less of, this isn't like the core games in every way, because while it's true, it's not going to help. Truth be told, that's what I wanted this to be, was a, core game shrunk down, a basic core game on mobile, but no, it's not. So the thing with Pokemon Masters is you collect the well-known Pokemon video game characters like gym leaders and Elite Four members, and they have their partner Pokemon. This game does my favorite thing where you complete a story mission and are rewarded with in-game currency as well as a bunch of random things that the game doesn't tell you what they are, what they do, or if they're even important. Now you can raise your trainer level and the level of the collected trainers you have playing through the story stages or the training stages. But what about your Pokemon? Well, you can evolve them, but you have to have a specific thing to make them evolve, which is stupid. It's called evolution shards and evolution crystals, and it's stupid. But like, honestly, why didn't they just keep the evolution the same as in the core games? Just make them level up as they gain experience. That's my biggest problem with the game, is the Pokemon evolution. It's just the most stupid thing ever. Now, when you do the battle stages, there are 3-on-3 matches, which is fine. But before you go into a stage, it tells you what the recommended types of Pokemon to bring are, so that the battle will be easier, and even though it only tells you which one type will be best against the type you're going to face. An example is with flying types. The game recommends that a rock type is the best against it, while it doesn't realize that electric types do really, really well against flying types. But whatever, you're just supposed to know that. It also has an autoplay feature where the game will just play itself, but like the other one, it makes such poor decisions, why even bother using it? As with all the mobile games, it has a really horrible monetization thing that it relies too heavily upon, and like I said, I don't pay into mobile games. I wanted this to be like the core game, like many of the core games that I've played, and I wanted to like this game, but I just can't enjoy this one, and I'm really tempted to uninstall it. Really, I just feel like this was a missed opportunity to make like a smaller version of a core Pokemon game for mobile. So there you go, my opinion on Gunpla Battle, Gunpla Warfare, and Pokemon Masters. If you like these games, it's fine. Play them. This is just my opinion. That's all I have to say. So if you're added to the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye.